All right, welcome back to Rolling Commentary. I'm excited to kick more of these off in 2025. And in this episode, I get to roll with my friend Tal, who's developing as a white belt and getting some good techniques. Hey, we're going to mix it up. Sometimes we start standing. Sometimes we start with one sitting, one standing. So it's good. He's going to do a good job establishing some grips right away, working some leg entanglements. He's really been focused on leg attacks. He's liking those. Look at him looking for the heel hook right there already. And so I know it's kind of his game right now. So I'm getting my heel to the mat quickly. And one thing I like about the gi is that when someone's playing the leg entanglements, you can grab hold of the gi pants and really have a lot of control with that. No gi, a little trickier. The legs get a little squirrelier. But with the gi, you can establish some good grips and kind of mitigate some of those attacks they're trying to do with their legs. So again, I got the side control. Now I'm just trying to maintain transition to mount. I'm going to use my legs here to keep connection. I'm trying to do what Hobson Moore talks about. Your feet become like hands. So right there, they're not resting. They're actually really connecting so that I can slip over real quick into like a pry bar pass to mount. So I see a quick setup for a mounted triangle, and real quickly it's going to switch over to an arm bar. He's going to do a good job rolling out of it. I showed some grace and didn't want to, technically you want to bring that shin across the face, but I just felt like, hey, look, I'm trying to look out for Tal. So I didn't like to do that, but it worked out. Roll into armbar, and he did a good job responding rightly, and I just countered that defense. So it worked. Now we're standing. I go for an ankle pick. He's just going to sit down, establishing grips, but I love this pass. You'll catch people like this all the time. They tried a leg entanglement, and I'm just going to grab the knees, shuck them between, and then pinch with my own knees. Then I can go a variety of places from there. This one worked out to be a knee slider, but you'll catch people off guard with that. They'll feel pretty safe there, and so you can catch them, and that's a fun technique to hit on people. Again, back in side control. Now I'm just looking to maintain. You see me kind of using that left hand and left arm, forearm for some control of the hip. Going to go over into knee on belly and just kind of see what he gives me. I'm just kind of trying to ride the wave, so to speak. He's going to push that knee off. No problem. We can kind of push him back, and now we're in kind of a rear side mount. So anytime I get here, I like to look for that gift wrap position, and then that sets up one of these back takes that I really like that Mike Page taught me, a black belt from Bentonville, Arkansas. And it's a lot of fun. This creates some really good problems, and you kind of go from here, see what happens. So you can kind of do a reverse triangle here. And I'm looking for that, but he gets his arm, kind of blocks that off. And so I'm thinking, maybe arm bar. Again, when it comes to attacks, you're looking for how to create multiple attacks from my opponent, multiple problems where ultimately you want to give them so many problems where they run out of solutions. Like very rarely will you get the very first attack you give them. But Tal's going to do a good job of escape. Look do you see how he stayed on my leg to get out of that? That was nicely done by Tal. I love that escape. He stayed calm, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And so he did mitigate that first problem. I had his back. I no longer do. I mean, flirting with it. They're looking for maybe a crucifix position, but he does a good job tucking his arm. I'm trying to just create problems, right? Trying to give him some problems to solve and then add to that to where eventually it's just too many problems to deal with. And that's what I love about jiu-jitsu. His job right now is to stop the problems, and my job is to create more. So it's a lot of fun with that chess match going on. And so here pretty soon you're going to see me start to play with the gi because he's doing a good job protecting his arms. And so it's like, okay, like right there, tucked his elbow. I was looking for maybe an arm bar, tucked his elbow. Tal's getting good at defense. So I've got to create new problems for him because his defenses are developing. That's good. So right here I'm going to say, all right, you know what? Let's move on to some fun creative gi things. And we learned something a while back from our coach. Remember this from Hobson Moore. I'm going to grab the gi. I'm going to go over the top of his forearm here. I think Hobson would call this the little hands technique, and you'll see why here in a second. It's going to wrap around his wrist to where he loses the ability to use that arm. So watch when he turns over, you're going to see the left hand. Just see, you can barely see that hand. Now I need to develop this. So he changes the angle and I loosen that up. See how he slips out right there? But the good news about it is I've still got the gi. So it's creating more problems. So he solved one problem, but then I was just created a new one, and we get the tap. And so that's the fun back and forth of jiu-jitsu, right? He solved a problem, but I immediately created a new one. and it developed into something else. He's looking for omoplata right here. I'm looking to defend, and we're just kind of going back and forth. I think the round's about to be over. Yep, there it is. Great round from my friend Tao. That was a lot of fun. So I hope this is good for you guys. Hope you enjoy it as much as I do. It's fun to do this. You always learn a lot looking back at your rolls. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, train on.